So you've managed to download a copy of Final Cut Pro 10 because you need to edit videos for a YouTube channel you want to start or for other purposes. But then you open Final Cut and get intimidated by all the navigation menus, settings and options, which brings you to this YouTube video for help. This video will teach you the basics of Final Cut in just a few minutes so that you can get down to editing as soon as possible. Let's start by opening up Final Cut. Now the first thing you want to do is make the window full screen so you can focus your attention on Final Cut and not get distracted by other elements in the background. Don't worry if Final Cut crashes because Final Cut automatically saves your work, and sometimes you might think that you have lost all your work, but you just need to open up the video project again in Final Cut. So let's introduce you to all these windows or tabs in the Final Cut interface. There are 4 major windows or panels in Final Cut: the place where you import media, the real-time playback of your video, the inspector panel, and finally the timeline. This movie icon lets you hide or show the library sidebar, where you can import your footage from. The iTunes camera icon organizes some of the media you might want to import into your photos, iTunes, and sound effects. And this titles icon allows you to see the different formats which you will need to add text or headings to your video. The generated submenu is useful for transitions or even for making basic introductions to your videos. The window to the right shows your actual video in real time, and you can adjust this video to either have a better quality or for you to edit the video with more performance. It's important to note that this doesn't affect the quality of your actual video, but only of the video that's shown to you while you're editing. Reducing the quality of this allows the Mac to dedicate its power onto processing the actual edits you make to your video. This button allows you to hide or show windows such as the import media window. This allows you to hide or show your timeline, and the one to the right lets you hide or show the inspector window, which is used to change audio or video settings, change text and more. In the timeline window panel, clicking on the mouse pointer icon allows you to change what your mouse is used for, and it's been made really conveniently to let you easily switch between these options by simply typing the corresponding letters. You will want to make sure the snapping option is enabled, which snaps all your cuts together neatly. Let's begin actually making a video. Creating your video project is simple. Go to the menu bar and click on File, New, and then Project. Or you can simply hold down the Command key and press N. You will be greeted by a menu full of settings for your video. Firstly, give your video a name. You can change the video format from as low as 720p to as high as 5K, and even beyond that, such as in 8K in the custom resolution option. This changes the width or how many pixels the width of the actual video is, and depending on what aspect ratio you want your video to be, you can then adjust the actual resolution if you don't want the video to be in the most common 16:9 default ratio. You can also change the rate, which is how many times the picture is refreshed per second, which is how video is created from the quickly moving pictures. 60p is great, and you should try to make your videos at that rate, which means that there are 60 pictures refreshing per second. Don't worry about changing the rendering or audio settings, because even I'm not entirely sure what all of those settings mean. Once you're happy, click OK. From here on, I will use the most efficient ways to use Final Cut, so that you can learn the best way from the beginning. I'm going to demo video editing through briefly editing some of my case review video, and you can find the completed video in the description below. I start by typing out a script of what I'm going to say in my YouTube video, and then doing an audio recording of this with my phone, and finally sending this to the Mac. I also record my footage according to the script, which makes life easier. Start by creating a folder on your desktop for all the footage and audio you have. So now go back to Final Cut and press Command and I to import your stuff. Navigate your way to the desktop and select all your media and then click Import All. Now you can drag your imported footage onto the timeline. Now let's drag our audio into the timeline. Here we can go ahead and edit the audio, cutting out all the mistakes you might have made while recording and cutting out unnecessary pauses. Press B on your keyboard to turn your mouse into the blade tool. This tool is very precise, so you can zoom in on your timeline or zoom out using a trackpad. Click on the beginning of the section you want to cut out, and then on the end of the section. Now press A and click on the section you want to delete, then press delete on your keyboard. Note, it's best to use headphones while editing audio. Okay, so press Command and A on the keyboard to select all the audio in your timeline. Now in the inspector panel, click on the magic wand for Final Cut to analyze your audio. Then you can let Final Cut optimize your audio, which makes it sound way better. Now that you're happy with your audio, drag all the footage you want to use into the timeline as well, using the blade tool to cut through what you want and don't want, in the same way you edited your audio. I have got an intro, so I'll drag that on first. Now match up the parts of the footage that you want to go with the corresponding audio. You can add in images to play between the gaps in the footage. You can adjust the length your image is on screen for by dragging on the end of the image in the timeline. For the images, click to that position in the timeline and then click on the image below. Now click on the cropping icon. Click on the crop option and then click on Ken Burns. Select the starting position where you want your image to be shown at first, and then select the end position where you want the image to end off. Now click Done. So when you've edited everything, click on the full screen button to watch and preview your final video. If you're satisfied, move on to the next step. Otherwise, go back and make the changes you need. So minimize the video again and click on the share button on the top right corner of Final Cut. You can choose to upload directly to YouTube, which we'll do here, or you can click on export file to export the video to someplace on your computer. Adjust the name of your video and other settings as shown here. Make sure you signed into your YouTube account in Final Cut, and then finally press enter. And that's it, you're done. Although it can be tiring, stressful and tedious editing your first video, you'll get the hang of it in no time, and you can then learn more advanced features to further improve your content. Feel free to put all your questions in the comment section for me to answer, because I might have made some things confusing in this video, and please drop a like and even subscribe, since it's all free for you to do and it will help this channel to grow. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.